Y'all ready for this?
Hi guys, it's Mrs. Bowen. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for some world history? I'm so excited with the submissions that you guys sent in for the World War I technology assignment on the Padlet. If you have not completed this assignment and you have not gone on this page, you need to go on this page. This is pure entertainment and academic information all in one. So you can just scroll through and see all of the creative students that we have in our classes. I'm so proud of you guys. I hope this was something that kind of made you have a little good time for a little while and have some fun. I'm especially impressed with this tank done by Alina. Good job, Alina. You guys did fantastic. So proud of you guys. You should go on here and check out everybody else's World War I technologies. Everybody did a great job. Okay, so today is Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. We are going to do notes today, and you're going to upload your notes to this assignment. It's End of World War I notes. So let's begin. First thing I need you to do is update your table of contents in your notebook. It should say the date, which is March 24th, 2020. The topic should be End of World War I notes. And as usual, I have no idea what page we're on, so just put it on the next page. I'm sure you're doing beautifully with your notebooks. Okay, here you're going to want to pause your video for just a minute so that you can make your page look like this. Please take up the entire page, turn your page sideways, and take up the whole page. So go ahead and pause the video. Make sure you section your page into 4 different parts and complete all 4 parts before you get going on the next slide. Okay, welcome back. Okay, our content objective for today is students will be able to demonstrate an understanding of the long-term causes of World War I and its global impact. You will be able to explain the major decisions made in the Versailles Treaty, including German reparations and the mandate system that replaced Ottoman control. So the war is over. The war ended in 1919, and the defeated Central Powers believed that all of Europe was equally to blame, okay? But not everybody felt that. But everybody was glad that the war was over. And it says, beaten, Germany accepts armistice terms and hostilities cease on all fronts. So basically what that means is Germany was beaten and they accepted the terms of the agreement to stop the war, and fighting stopped on all fronts. So everybody was happy. It says, it's over, boys. Germany is branded now as a beaten nation. Armed imperialism completely ended by accepted armistice. So you've got a lot of things going on this newspaper that's all related to the end of the war. So just a little recap. The Paris Peace Conference took place in 1919, and the treaty that takes place there is called the Versailles Treaty. Everybody likes to go to France, specifically to Paris, to have their treaties because Paris is a fun city. They've got lots of nice things. So every time there's a treaty, and you'll see this in U.S. history, every time there's a treaty, they go to Versailles or they go to Paris. So the Central Powers, which included Germany, here in pink, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire, lost the war. The Central Powers thought everyone was to blame for this war because everybody took part in it and they expected the peace terms to be equal. But they weren't. That was not the case. The Allied powers, which included the US, Great Britain, France, Belgium, and Russia, they won the war, and they thought that they had the right to set the terms of the peace because they were the winners. They could say what they could do. So I'm going to talk you through this. Please don't write anything down yet. I'm just going to talk this out, and then the next slide I'll show you what you need to write down. So what does each Allied power want? Well, the U.S. wants to end the war, and they want to create this thing called the League of Nations, which is based on President Wilson's 14 points. We'll talk about that in just a minute. The USA wanted to make sure that Germany was not destroyed, and they did not want any blame for Germany for the war. France and the United Kingdom suffered a lot more during the war. The war was fought in France mostly. It was not fought in the United States. The United States only got in the war toward the very end. So the U.S. really wasn't impacted very much by this war. But France and the United Kingdom were, and they want to punish Germany. So France wants, first of all, to punish Germany. They want no League of Nations. They want huge reparations. This is money paid by Germany to the Allies. And they want to break up the German army so Germany would never be strong enough to attack France again. The United Kingdom wanted to punish Germany, but they wanted to leave them strong enough to be able to trade. So they didn't want to completely destroy them. But they did want to take some land for their own empire. So as you can see, France is pretty severe. They really want to punish Germany because Germany was very bad to them during the war. United Kingdom still wants to punish them, but they want them to be able to operate as a country, and the U.S. doesn't want them destroyed, doesn't want them blamed. Okay, so this is the box that I want you to fill in right now, and you can pause the video if you need to. Who are the big three winners? The big three winners are the United States, France, and the United Kingdom that we just said on this page. Those three guys. What do each of them want? Well, France wants revenge and they want money. The United States wants the League of Nations and they don't want to destroy Germany. And the United Kingdom wants to make Germany pay, but they want to leave them strong enough to trade. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So this is President Wilson of the United States' 14 points. He came up with a plan to try to create a lasting peace in the world. Remember those four main causes of World War I: militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism? Well, he wanted to do some things to make it so that would never happen again, and we would never have a world war again. So these were some of his ideas. He said we should have open diplomacy. So there goes the alliances. No more secret treaties between countries. He said impartial dealings with colonies and their natives. So he's basically saying no nationalism. You're going to deal with the colonies and their people, like they're people, like they're human beings, and treat them nicely. He said to end international trade barriers so that countries could freely trade with each other, much like the European Union today. There are no trade barriers in the European Union. And he said we need to reduce armaments or weapons. This is militarism. So all these countries should not have all these weapons, or that is one thing that will lead to war. And the final and most important part of Wilson's 14 points was to create an international organization, the League of Nations, to keep the peace. So we'll talk about the League of Nations a little bit more in just a second, but I want you to understand that the 14 points is all about peace. So let's fill in that box in the top right-hand corner. The purpose of Wilson's 14 points was to keep peace by removing militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism, because those were the four causes of World War I, and he wanted to eliminate them so that there would be peace throughout the world. Okay, so let's talk about the actual Treaty of Versailles, which was done in Paris. So we saw what the U.S. wanted, we saw what France wanted, we saw what the United Kingdom wanted, but that's not what actually happened because they had to compromise. So the Treaty of Versailles said that Germany had to, number one, take full responsibility and blame for World War II. It was all their fault. So in your box over here, make sure that you're writing these down. Treaty says that Germany has to, number one, take full responsibility and blame for World War I. Number two, they had to pay $10 billion in payments to the Allies. This is called reparations. Basically what it means is they have to pay for all of the damage that they did during the war. That's an awful lot of money. Number three, they had to give up all their colonies in Africa and some of their land in Europe. So the entire German nation is going to look different, okay? The state is going to look completely different. Its borders are going to be changed. Number four, they have to get rid of their weapons and their factories. So they have to get rid of the weapons they currently have, and they cannot make any more weapons. Number five, they have to reduce their military and their naval power. So the goal of this treaty is really to put Germany in a position where they cannot attack anyone again. Does this work? We all know the answer is no, but they did try. Okay, so if you are Germany and you are having to face all the blame for this war, you're going to have to pay $10 billion. You have to give up your colonies and some of your land in Europe. You have to get rid of your weapons and your factories and reduce your military. How do you feel if you're Germany? Fill in that box with how you would feel if you were Germany. Okay, the Ottoman Empire, and this is your bottom right-hand box. So you can not write down this first bullet point, but I'm going to read it anyway. The important bullet point is the middle and the last one, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. According to the Treaty of Versailles, Germany's colonies and the non-Turkish lands of the Ottoman Empire, because the Ottoman Empire was on Germany's side and they lost, they became temporary mandates of the League of Nations. Okay, so the Ottoman Empire was split up and Germany's colonies were to be run by the League of Nations for a short time. This was the plan. So each colony would be assigned to either the United Kingdom or France, one of the Allied powers. Okay, so the Ottoman Empire is split up and it's going to be run by one of the winning powers, the United Kingdom or France. The mandate system is when there is an allied power, either France or the United Kingdom, that is running a territory for a short time while plans were being made for that country or that territory to have independence. Okay, so it's a temporary measure where an allied power is taking control just for a short time. But in reality, these territories became colonies for the Allied powers. Okay, these territories do not end up getting their independence for a very long time, and they just essentially are the colonies for the Allied powers. So make sure that you have the definition for what is the mandate system. So I would think that you need the first and second bullet points here. The third bullet point is just an example of what happened with the mandate system in the Middle East. The British had a mandate of Palestine, which is the area today known as Israel. And they created a lot of conflict because the United Kingdom promised the Jews a Jewish state in the exact same place where the Palestinian Arabs lived. So there was quite a bit of conflict that happens in this area from the 1940s on to today. The Arabs, or the Palestinians, and the Israelis do not get along at all, and we'll talk about that conflict a little bit later in the course. Okay, so what does this mean? What are the consequences of World War I? Well, the decision to punish Germany eventually led to the rise of Hitler in the 1930s. Because Germany underwent a Great Depression. They had a bad economy. They owed everybody money. They couldn't have a military. They were having just a really hard time. So Hitler came to power during that time. The United States refused to ratify the Treaty of Versailles, and they did not join the League of Nations, which was supposed to keep the peace. Therefore, the League of Nations was weak, and they failed to maintain peace in the years leading up to World War II. So the United States did their best, but they did not do good enough. Everybody wanted to punish Germany rather than think about the future and, a way to end this war in a more peaceful manner. Okay, that is all I have for you today. Please make sure if you are missing any assignments that you go and do them. I will accept them until we go back to school, but you can't let them linger out there for a long time. Make sure you're getting your assignments done. And please take a picture of your notes from today and upload them to the assignment End of World War I notes. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a lovely day.